Hi Transformers fans, got a quick review for you for an upgrade for Fans Hobby Powerbaser. This is the third-party Masterpiece Optimus Prime, which came out last year, and one of the criticisms of it has been that the head is a little bit on the small side, considering how giant the legs are, the body, the giant bulky backpack that he has. And I love the look of this figure. Powermaster Optimus Prime is one of my favorite Transformers, and it's awesome to finally have a giant Masterpiece scaled third-party Powermaster Optimus Prime. But there were a few things that could have been tweaked on this release, one of them being the head and the other being the hands. So the hands that were included with Powerbaser, as he's known, were based on his look in the Japanese cartoon. And in the Marvel comic, Optimus's hands were all red, and the original G1 toy also had all red hands. So that was another little nitpick, especially from North American fans who were used to seeing Powermaster Optimus Prime, not Ginray or Jinray, with the blue on the hands. We wanted all red hands, and also the hands as they are not very articulated. His hands are actually very similar to the official Takara Masterpiece Optimus Prime. His finger comes out, separates from the other three fingers, and these three fingers don't have any articulation. They're just stuck together, and the thumb doesn't move either. So to remedy these issues, Fans Hobby has released these affordable little upgrade sets, which are now available on Big Bad Toy Store. There is MBA-01, which is a set of articulated hands and a head that is accurate to the Marvel comic look of Powermaster Optimus Prime, and MBA-02 articulated hands. Let's start with this set and give you a look at what they look like. Comes in a nicely wrapped bag, and the 02 set is identical to the hands. It's some crinkly plastic. And we open that up too. And it includes two fists, and it also includes some screws to replace the existing fists. So the existing fists on Powerbaser are the Japanese Ginray style, which have red fingers with the blue palm, blue hand part, and the 02 set has the same look, blue palm, but now the fingers are articulated. So the thumb, standard articulation you see on a lot of third-party figures, the thumb is on a ball joint, moves all around, and that pops out so that when you are replacing the originals, that's where the screw holes go. Also articulated knuckles here. So to install the new hands, you're going to need a tiny screwdriver because the old ones will just slide right off. They are on a peg like that, and they have a gap on the bottom which just slides on and off. And once the original fist is off, you would separate the hands, make sure you got the right hand for the right arm, and put it on the peg like that, and then just pop that in like that, connect it, and then you take the screws that were included and you screw them in. So just for the sake of showing you what it looks like, because these are not the hands that I'm going to stay with, I'm actually going to use the all red ones like the original toy, but just to show you what these look like, much better. And one of the most common poses that I do with my Optimus Prime figures is the pointing, giving orders or giving a warning to Megatron. So it's always cool when you're able to make your Optimus Prime be able to point like that, or give the big thumbs up. Just pop that in there. And the thumb doesn't actually go back like that. You get sort of a tiny thumbs up, so you'd have to twist it to the side like that. It's kind of a wonky looking thumbs up though. That way, this one looks a little bit more correct. Keeping things optimistic. So if you grew up on Master Force, that'll be the set that you'll go with for Jinrai. But if you're like me, grew up in North America, and this is Powermaster Optimus Prime, and this is the upgrade set for you. Marvel Comics head and all red articulated hands. And here's a closer look at the Marvel Comics head, which they nailed it. It's a shame that the Sunbow Transformers cartoon didn't last long enough to introduce this version of Optimus Prime, but they did in this issue right here of Marvel Comics, issue 42. So this, I don't own that many Transformers comics anymore, but I still have a few of the ones that are special to me, like the last one and this one. This is one of my favorite comics from when I was a kid and read it many times. And there you can see that is a perfect interpretation. So before we install that head, we're gonna install the new all red hands, and it is a good color match. It looks exactly the same. It can be such a tricky thing to match color of plastics. They can differ very slightly from one batch to the next, but this looks like a perfect match, luckily. You wouldn't want a set of hands that were too bright for the rest of the red or too dark, so that's cool. And also included, like the other set of hands, is some screws. So to install, we take the hand and we separate it into two pieces. We wrap one part around the peg and pop this in the other peg, and now we're gonna put in the screws, and 4 are included. They're very tiny, so try not to do this over something like shag carpet or anything with gaps or holes in the ground where you can easily lose them, but it'll be 2 screws per fist. Magnetized end for a screwdriver would probably help too, save from dropping it. We're gonna literally put the screws to Optimus Prime. One there. You don't have to do it too tightly. Always a bit cautious with any modern plastic. Bending it too tight, screwing into it too tightly might cause the piece inside to break. Tighten that down, and perfect. One down, one to go. And the second one is the same. Just wrap it around the peg, tighten the screws in, and it's on there nice and tight. Close up the forearm panels, and now your Powermaster Optimus Prime North American Edition is ready to do the fawns. Hey! That's awesome. And next step is to install the new Marvel Comics style head. The old head, you can just pull it apart. It's not actually held by screws. And set that aside. Oh, before I install it, just to show you a little bit better the size difference. Look at the size of the new melon. So I think that's appropriate for the new Powermaster body. So here is the original Masterpiece Optimus Prime, or rather the second Masterpiece Optimus Prime. And here's the head from BASER. And this one is not that much bigger than Masterpiece Optimus Prime's head, which is odd considering how much bigger Powermaster Optimus Prime or Powerbaser is. So definitely going to look better with this much bigger head. And to install the head, you just pop it on. You hear a snap and it's on there nice and secure. Drop that panel back in place, and now we'll give him some fists to ball up. Now you have this new Marvel Comics head installed, which, now that I've seen it, I thought the pictures looked pretty good, but a lot of the time something looks so much better in person than in pictures. And now that I'm actually looking at it, I really, really think this looks awesome. This completes the Powermaster look of this figure. I didn't really realize it until popping this new head on, but now I have to admit the old head was too small. Just way too small for this gargantuan body. Here's the old head again. And there's the new head. So everything seems to be in proper proportion now. And we put the original Masterpiece Optimus Prime there. It just looks better now. I've had these displayed side by side before, and I thought not only was the head too small, it looked too similar to the original toy head, or the original Masterpiece head. And I like that this looks different. He's all powered up, armored up, and even his side ears, antenna, whatever you want to call it, are fortified, are armorized. They look like they have guns on them. I guess the old ones had these little things on them too, but these look almost like cannons. The eyes are red, so like the original toy had red eyes, they included red eyes on this one, as well as the Marvel comic. He had red eyes in that as well. On my Powermaster Optimus Prime reissue, I like the look of blue eyes for Prime more, so what I did was I found some of this really cheap foil tape on eBay. It's very affordable. It's like $1 for a little roll like that. Very easy to install. You just open the head up and wrap it around the existing eyes, and then you get this really amazing looking glossy, gleaming chrome look to it. So if I decide to do the same thing with this head, that won't be too hard. All you have to do is turn the head around here, 2 screws in the back which get undone, take the head apart, same deal. But the eyes that are in there are actually pretty nice. They have a little bit of metallic shine to them, so I don't know, I might keep it like that for a while before installing the blue chrome to it. And that will just slide into there, and before it even goes all the way in, look how secure that is. That's not going anywhere. So sliding it all the way in, even more secure, and wrapping some fingers around it, even more, it's not going to fall out. That's a real annoyance with some of these things. When they have really loose fingers, these weapons tend to fall out, and those pegs either are too loose or too tight, and they don't fit. But there's no way these are falling out. Wrap the fingers around this guy too. If you want, he can be pointing while he's holding the gun. Cool option, actually, because I really do like the pose of Optimus Prime pointing, but he can't point while he's holding a gun, except now he can. So that's actually really cool. I never even thought of doing that before, but that's awesome. And that's one of my favorite things about third-party Transformers, that a lot of them aren't one and done. It's not sorry if there's something about it that you don't like. Tough luck, that's the way it's going to be. A lot of them release these little upgrade sets just to make them a little bit better. And a lot of the time, like these two sets, they're very affordable. This guy needs an upgrade set to make him be able to stand a little bit more securely. He needs like a tripod or something. But I think that this is a fantastic upgrade. The hands, I'm not that much of a stickler for. If a hand can be articulated, if all of the fingers can do the, the rock on sign or the I love you sign or the thumbs up, that doesn't really matter to me, but the head is important. And this looks so much better now that I'm actually looking at it in person. So much more powerful, so much more Powermaster Optimus Prime. So fantastic little set if you've got Power Baser and you've been thinking, should I pick that up? Is it worth it? Well, if you're a fan of the Marvel Comics, like I was, and a huge fan of Powermaster Optimus Prime North American G1 edition, then this set in particular, with the red hands and the comic accurate head, will make him a little bit more Powermaster Prime and a little less Ginray. So if you're interested in picking them up, both sets are currently available on Big Bad Toy Store. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, Nerdmas Day!